everybody. I think we'll start sort of the formal part of our presentation. I don't know if you guys noticed, but during dinner, Tom was walking around, working the room, politicking a little. His chances are getting better and better. Clearly the front runner. There's no doubt about it. First of all, I had a little fumble, sort of. Volker, we just want to recognize we've got another Order of Thompson. I mentioned maybe Tom. And Nick's over here too. Volker, you got to sit closer to the front, man. But congratulations to you, and we want to recognize Marion's here too, and her mom Gail is an Order of Thompson, Gail and Arnold in 2011, so thanks Marion for being here. In case you're keeping track at home, some of the other Order of Thompson people, Red Sangster 2012, Adrian DeGroot in 2013, Ted Smook in 2014, John Donovan 2015, and of course Nick last year in 2016. So round of applause for all those guys. I'm going to invite Colin Bonnycastle up in just a couple minutes. Before he does, I'm going to steal a little bit of airtime. I can't hog it. See what I did there? It's a radio thing, airtime. Actually, Tom's family gave me my first real job in Thompson, so I think it was your dad, actually, that would have been at the helm when I first started at CHTM, but that did put me on a little bit of a road to some public speaking and a little bit of media stuff with Paul and things like that. So I want to thank you guys for setting me on what I think was a good path. Somewhere along the line, I fell off the actual payroll, and I've now been going to the station for about 15 years every week, hoping that maybe you guys will take me back. We'll see what happens. It's a long stint as an unpaid intern, but I'm going to keep it going. But no, I really kind of appreciate that. Beyond sort of the public speaking and the CHTM stuff, Tom and I have sort of worked, I don't know if you call it work together, on the Airport Authority, some hangout, some other projects, and you've always been a role model to me, I think, and a friend, which I really appreciate, and I think you've been a great leader to me in one great respect. I think that you're always very professional and fun. And I think it's easy to separate professional and fun, and you think, oh, we're being professional, so. if you've ever sat beside Tom at a meeting, it's not like that. So there's lots of jokes and lots of fun around that. So, I mean, I appreciate sort of learning and the time that we get to hang out, and I hope there's some more around that too. One of the projects we did work on at the Regional Airport Authority was hiring a new president. We had one of the most interesting job interviews we've ever seen, the Zoom guy. Does anybody remember the car ads? Zoom, it was Mazda? Okay, see, somebody remembered. The guy that we interviewed said that he invented Zoom. I don't know. He was pretty slick, I gotta say. He was a pretty cool guy. We didn't hire him. So, something seemed fishy. If it smells like fish, you know, you kind of think, all right, we got to get out of this game. So we ended up hiring Curtis Ross, and that turned out to be a really good move for us. Curtis couldn't be here tonight, but he did send a little note that he wanted me to pass on to you. So pretend I'm Curtis Ross just for a minute. He's got way better hair, way better. Tom, I regret that I could not be there tonight to acknowledge and celebrate the award being presented to you. I've known you for nearly all of the 28 years I've been in Thompson, and I cannot think of a more deserving person. I've had the privilege of knowing you as a friend, neighbor, colleague, fellow Rotarian, and simply a great person. A man who grew up in the radio and advertising business, where a way with words and writing are important skills, Tom has refined the art of communicating his thoughts with the fewest number of words while maintaining maximum impact. His quick sense of humor can catch you off guard if you aren't familiar with his dry wit. He's a wealth of knowledge and has the ability to sit back and take the most difficult of issues and strategically develop a solution before he speaks. You can tell when this is happening. Tom will simply look sideways at you, raise an eyebrow, which I can't really do, and listen, and a few seconds later, if you're willing, he'll impart some wisdom on you. If you're smart, you'll listen. And in my experience, think about what he has shared with you. I've always known Tom to be a person of the highest integrity and morals who expects no less of those around him. I have watched him work endless hours as a volunteer, business person, and most importantly, a great father and husband. Again, I wish both Tara and I could have been there to share this special night with you, but on behalf of us and my airport colleagues, other board TRAA members, we congratulate you. I know as neighbors we'll be all together, solving the world's problems and raising a glass to toast this accomplishment. Congratulations, my friend. It's from Curtis Ross. My only disappointment is I wanted to say all those great things about Tom, and then Curtis beat me to it. He emailed me a couple of days ago, like, Curtis. I'm going to turn things over to Colin Bonnycastle now. It's not for me to say lots of nice things, but again, I'm really excited to have been able to share part of today. When I heard that you were getting it, it was a lock that I was going to be here. So congratulations from me, and now I'll invite President Colin Bonnycastle from the Thompson Community Foundation to say a few words.
Well, welcome everybody. I'm not a speaker. I didn't train on a radio station, so bear with me. Just welcome everybody here. This is a very important event that we have each year, and I really appreciate all the people that turned out and supporting our board. I'd like to maybe just introduce the board of directors. So as I call your name out, if you're here, please stand. I know Ed Daniluk is our vice president, is not here. I understand he's off moose hunting or somewhere. Priorities, right? And Tim Johnson is our treasurer. Not sure where Tim is. Is not here, no. Moose hunting too? Sherry Kruger. Where's Sherry? Sherry's our past president and our current treasurer, or current secretary, I'm sorry. Paula Yanko. Where's Paula? Yeah, Paula. Paula is our grants chair, so she's in charge of all the grants that we hand out each year to nonprofit agencies. Important role. Randy McKay is on our board, but he's not here tonight. Tammy, he's moose hunting too. Poor moose, I don't know. Tammy Burton. Big round for Tammy, because a lot of the organization of tonight's event was basically a one-person show through Tammy's work. So thank you very much, Tammy. Dave Moore. Dave Moore has been with this is his last year, I think, on our board, and Dave has been the past chair of our grants committee, and it will be speaking in a few minutes, I understand. Kevin White. Kevin White's the board member with us. Brenda Laycock. Oh, Brenda. And last, Shamila Thethi. So Brenda and Shamila are new board members, just come on this year, and we really appreciate and look forward to the next 6 years with you on our board. So. In addition, I'd like to recognize Tammy Kober, our executive assistant. She does the day-to-day activities. And then also Erin Goebel. Is Erin here? No, I don't think she is. Okay, she's our bookkeeper that provides service for us. Good. Okay, so people, yeah, you're sitting down. Okay. Next sort of thing on the agenda is to talk a little bit about an initiative that's been going on for the last little while. The Thompson Community Foundation relies heavily on contributions of its citizens to grow our endowment fund. And if you're not aware, we basically have this endowment fund that has been right from the start. We don't use that endowment fund, but for our gifts out to the community, we use the interest off that account. And so it's really important to keep building that endowment fund that we put it through the Winnipeg Foundation, which has a very big fund. They can get a really good interest rate on it, and that's how we sort of provide services in the community, is through the interest off that endowment fund. So this endowment fund generally grows through two ways. One is we get generous individual donations from companies and individuals. For example, donations received maybe tonight at the gala, and just a reminder that there are envelopes on the table. If you're able provide a donation, that would be wonderful. We help build that endowment fund more. We can then provide more services. Secondly, we get accumulated small donations of our citizens, and I'd like to speak to that, the second form of giving, specifically the payroll deduction. Like many of you, I was introduced to payroll deduction many years ago through the United Way. It was a thing that in the community that I was in, you'd take a little bit of your check each month and it would go into a pod. It's a little easier sometimes than giving that one lump sum. You can do it every paycheck sort of thing. It was a very convenient way of contributing each month and spreads out the donation over the entire year. Recently, through the work of Ed Danlick and the Manitoba Hydro Charitable Donations Program, we've clearly seen the benefits of encouraging employees to contribute to the Thompson Community Foundation through the entire year. I'd certainly like at this moment then to thank all the Manitoba Hydro employees that have contributed to the Thompson Community Foundation through their charitable donations program. To date, the program has collectively raised $26,640. So it's a real strong initiative. So I'd like to invite Jody Vanderheiden from Manitoba Hydro up for a minute, and we have So we just thought that this is something that we could give Manitoba Hydro, a plaque that they could put up in their building, and hopefully it will encourage in the future employees to continue to give in the way they have. And it basically says, our Foundation Thompson, sincere thanks to the Manitoba Hydro employees who through their Manitoba Hydro Charitable Donations Program supported the Thompson Community Foundation. So thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
So, as a lot of you have come here tonight, is with the Order of Thompson and that celebration. So I'd like to turn it over to Dave Moore, who will take the next steps with this process.
Is everybody having a good time tonight? No, I can't hear it. Is everybody having a good time tonight? That's it. Put a little oxygen in those lungs. Going to give you a little bit of background on Tom here. And some of these things you're going to go, oh, really? Some of these things probably you know because you've probably known him a lot longer than you've known myself or me knowing Tom as well. At the end, I'm going to pass it on to Rick is going to have a few words that he's going to say, choice words, I think, or stories maybe too. Maybe? Yeah, tonight? Yeah, yourself. Yeah, you, yeah. No? Okay. Well, after Rick, then I'll have a few things to say, and then we'll see who the real winner is for the Order of Thompson. I think everybody's in suspense right now. So, okay, Tom was born in Regina in 1961. He is the oldest of 6 kids. In 1972, he moved with his family to northern Manitoba. It was a great move for a kid who ended up in a land of lakes, bush, snowmobiling, and midnight sunsets. Tom enjoys hanging out at the radio station and secured his first radio job there. No, not on the air. He was emptying trash and doing the dishes. He started part-time work, though, on the air in 1975. He still has an alias that he uses once in a while, and we'll maybe have a quiz at the end to see if anybody knows what that is. Tom eventually got a Bachelor of Commerce degree from the University of Saskatchewan and went to work in Calgary as a joint venture oil and gas auditor. So if anybody needs any advice on that, Tom can help you out with that. And a door-to-door vacuum cleaner salesman. Okay. The novelty of door-to-door sales and auditing wore off about after 18 months when Tom moved to Regina to work as an advertising consultant for Rawlco Radio. That was a really great move. We've just come back from Rawlco in Regina. Tom was good enough to take me there, and that is a really stellar company who's more than happy to give us training, and they are one of the really top radio companies. And there's a strong affiliation with Donna Tom's mom can tell you about that. Doug, Tom's father, worked for Ralco, and there's always been kind of a family feel with the companies there, so it was great to be there. He met and married Sue, the next big move that he did, and that was the really great idea, and working at the radio station during their time in Regina, and then they got married, and daughter Megan was born. Megan? There. As married and family life changed their priorities, Tom and Sue moved to Flin Flon so Tom could work with his dad, who had purchased the radio stations in the Paw, Flin Flon, and Thompson by this time. Sons Doug and Michael followed fairly quickly. Round of applause. In 1993, an opportunity to run CHTM in Thompson brought Sue and Tom and their family to Thompson. Not knowing the word no, Tom was soon involved in many community activities. He is with the Thompson Chamber of Commerce. He has served as secretary, treasurer, membership chair, and president of the Thompson Chamber of Commerce. He has chaired the United Way, volunteer and honorary chair of Operation Red Nose, a variety of roles in the Rotary Club, including president on 2 occasions, and he is currently assistant Rotary governor for the Paw, Flin Flon, and Thompson. Tom was invited to a quick meeting in 1999 and has been part of the Thompson Regional Airport Authority since inducted and serving as a board chair. Tom and Sue are active members of the St. Lawrence Church, where he's got a nickname of Father Tom, I guess that's what it is. Okay, is a lay presider, okay, when the priests are absent. Tom has also helped with North Star radio broadcasts, and he has a soft part for the North Stars, helping him out for 19 years now. In 2000, Tom and Sue purchased CHTM, CFAR, and CJRR. They both believe a radio station works best when it's involved in the community, and have donated over $1 million in free advertising to the community and nonprofit groups. So just think of how much that makes a difference. The radio station has come up with other endeavors to keep giving back to the community. There's also worked and supported the $1 Million Hole-in-One, which many of you probably golfed at. We have a golfing star in the corner there by Brenda there. So you almost need to take a bow for the $1 Million Hole-in-One. Has hosted and 60 combined Flin Flon and Thompson, that's 60 trade shows have been presided over and hosted. So the radio station has also opened up phone line to pledge shows and have raised many hundred thousands of dollars for local groups, and I can attest to this because the radio station, Sue with her endeavors, and Tom with the help with the Crohn's and Colitis Foundation, which I sit on. That's my pet project. And Tom has always said that to the employees: if you've got any kind of a charitable project you want to get behind, Tom's always behind it 100%. And that's great that the company does that. And worthwhile, we've also done other worthwhile causes, like if there was floods, fire victims, any of the on-air announcers, if they've found out something that they want to support, he encourages the employees to help and lead in other community incentives. Tom comes by this commitment to the community and volunteerism naturally. His grandfather, who is namesake, also Tom O'Brien, was always a leader, a helping hand, and was reeve of his municipality. Some of Tom's earliest memories of his own dad involved helping out when helping bingos. If you're from or know about Flin Flon, he was always in smoke-filled halls. He collected toys at special Christmas times, showing movies, and shoveling sidewalks for elderly neighbors. His mom has volunteered. She was with the Rotary Club as well at points, I believe, helping out the Rotary Club. They've been to many meetings overseas, and I always used to hear that you were like a gypsy jaunting all over the place with these meetings. His mom has volunteered her time to local activities as well, and as well been named to international boards. So Tom, keep up the good work. We're very happy to all be part of the Arctic Radio team. You're much more than just Tom. You're the whole organization. So, and if you ever want to measure someone, you just have to look at the kids, and you can see how great the kids are. Always, I think that is a true measurement of mother and father. So, looking at your kids, you're doing a great job. So, Tom looks forward to the future and to always making this community better. So, now I'm going to actually call on Rick. Would you like to say a few words?
Thanks, Dave. Holy crap, Tom, can you believe this? They got the wrong guy doing this. You know how emotional I am. Holy. But, see, big print. 1.25. First of all, good evening, everybody, and thanks for coming out. This man deserves what he's getting tonight. And welcome to your entire family. Mrs. O'Brien, Sue, Vanessa, Will. I know you're not family, but you like family, and your kids. Karen, good job. This is your brother. This is your dad. You're supporting him right on. Tom, I'm not throwing no dirt here tonight. No, I would never do that. I could do a lot of dirt, but there's never no dirt on Tom O'Brien. Tom O'Brien is a man of faith, a man of love, and just an inspirational person. And I'm getting dizzy wearing these. But Tom knows me, and him and I, we spent a lot of time together, and he's a split image of his father. And Doug O'Brien was a great man. And Tom, proud of you right now. So I'm going to read what I wrote down. And I got called, I think, on Wednesday or Thursday, and said, I'm the right guy to say something about Tom O'Brien. I am the right guy, but you know what I'm like. I'm so emotional. Let's get my act together here, because now we're going to go. Okay, Tom. When I was asked to say a few words about you, I was so honored. I sat down to write this speech, and my wife sat with me. And it brought back a lot of memories, all of which were good. And I've known the O'Brien family for over 20 years. I've been in business with Tom's dad, Doug, and Tom and I have been friends all this time as well. You see, Tom and I are both from God's country, and we cheer for the Riders. So, you know what? We lost last night, but the playoffs, we're in. We're in. Tom, over the years, I've seen you mold your life after the character and values your parents displayed. I would say your 4 pillars, and I mean this, in Tom's life are family, friends, faith, and community. And I really mean that, Tom. You're always there for your family, and I know how important your family is to you. It is great to see that your son is now teaching at the high school, and we've talked about that. Another generation impacting Thompson and bringing other teachers to Thompson. You're always outgoing. I have to flip the page here. And upbeat and willing to listen and help in any way you can. Tom, I could tell Rotary stories here of how you and I we were social directors, and the only reason we were social directors, and Manisha can contest to that, we were the 3 youngest Rotarians. And the old guys put all the work on the young guys. So a social director is the worst job you can have, because you got to be there first and you got to leave last. So we've had a lot of discussions, Tom and I. Do you remember sitting in the Inco suite? Watching the sun come up? Sitting in those big chairs and saying how much money has gone through this building? Tom, I know this community is very dear to your heart. And in some of our conversations during planning that we have done for events, You're always proud to tell me how much you enjoyed Thompson and how good Thompson has been to you. I don't know anybody else in our community who goes out of their way to help out as much as you do. I still remember making the mistake one late night at a Rotary function when I mentioned that I think we can make a monster bingo work. And your eyes lit up, and we began planning. It is because of the funds that we raised from that one monster bingo that that suspension bridge is standing to this day. We did it, bud. You and I, we did it. It's remarkable. And that's the type of person you are, Tom. You're always willing, you're always upbeat. I've never heard a bad word come out of your mouth, ever. You've listened to me. You've been there for me when I needed you. You've always supported me, and I've always watched and admired you and said, you know, that guy's got his act together. And you do, Tom. And you deserve this award so much. And you know what, Tom? I'm so proud of you. And at the end of the day, I don't know what to say any more than thanks for being my friend. And thanks for being a member of our community. Like, you're a great asset to our community. Thanks, Tom, for all the ways you have shown us service before self. One of the Rotary rules. Just like your dad. And it always goes without saying that behind every good man in a marriage is a strong, supportive wife. Your wife Sue is a gem. And she stands beside you and behind you, Tom. You could not do what you've done without her. And without the upbringing that you were given from your mom and dad. So, have a great evening. This is you, Tom, and you deserve this award. Your friend, Rick.
Might as well stand in over the light here a little bit here. A few more things to say, and then a little bit of my story I'll tell you before I came to Arctic Radio. I worked for Westburn for many years, and I had to change jobs, and I was lucky enough to get hired by Arctic Radio. But usually what I do is when I was looking for a job, I would kind of get some of the backstory on some of the management and stuff like that to see if it was going to be a good fit for everybody. And so I knew of Tom O'Brien. I've seen him around a lot of these places and always saw him at things, but never really heard about him. And that says a lot about Tom O'Brien being in the background a lot. So, but I had to get the goods on the guy. So I don't know if you guys know Dr. Bingham. Dr. Bingham. So I went to see him and I said, Tom O'Brien, what can you say about Tom O'Brien? And he says, Dave, Tom O'Brien is the oldest young guy I know. Well, that's a good compliment, you know. I mean, it means he's mature and he's smart and he's, you know, like he's got a good head on his shoulders and that. And, you know, the more I worked for Tom, I could see that he's in the background and he's showing up here and he's showing up there, and he's not like that. He's more like Forrest Gump. You know, have you ever seen the movie Forrest Gump? He's always in the background. You know, this the unsung hero who's always there. Like, and that's a lot of times how the radio station is, like for Tom. And that comes because of Tom and Sue and the commitment that the radio station has for the community of Thompson, and for the community of the Paw, and for the community of Flin Flon. They are truly Northerners. They love the community, and they love the communities that they live in, and they really want everything to go well for them. And that is really one of the big reasons, I'm sure, why they give so much back to the community of Thompson. been doing the job for a long time, and he's working tireless for the company, and he's not just generous with the money. You've heard that the company has given millions of dollars to back to the community, but he does something more. He gives his time. He's very generous with his time. There's a lot of people in this room I've seen up in his office coming to bend his ear, or they need a hand on a community drive or something like that, or they just need some advice. And Tom's door is always open. And it is with his staff and with people who ever need to come and get advice or further an idea that they think is going to work for the good of the community. So if there was anybody who deserved this award, Tom, I truly believe you really do deserve this. So if we could have 3 cheers for Tom O'Brien. Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Hip, hip. Hooray! Congratulations, Tom. Now, we'd like to get a few pictures if we can. We've got, again, it's the from our foundation, Thompson Community Foundation, the Order of Thompson to Tom O'Brien, and this was establishing a legacy. For 2017, congratulations, Tom O'Brien.
Way to go, Tom.
If I can, I'd like to get another photo op. We get the members of our board that are here, if they wouldn't mind coming up. Yeah, we want to get that after. We'll do that first. Okay, Tom, do you want to say a few words? Can you do that?
I don't know what else there is to say, frankly. But thank you very much, Dave. Thank you, Rick.
You're welcome, Tom.
I really think you're maybe talking about somebody else, but I know there was a Dr. O'Brien in this town. But I did spend a little bit of time looking through the list of the previous winners of this award, and I thought, man, what a great group. These people have done amazing things for Thompson and for Northern Manitoba. They're professional, they're dedicated, and they're an inspiration to us all. And the more I looked at that list, the more that I wondered, crap, how old do they think I am? Tammy Kobar dropped the letter off telling me that I had been selected for this award, but I was out, so she left it with Sue. And I came home that night, and we sat down for supper with our son, Doug. And Sue said she had some news, but that it was going to wait until after supper. With apologies to my kids, I thought I was going to be a grandpa. Wasn't sure how that was going to work out. So my response was, well, this is awkward. Many have been congratulating me, and I kind of struggle to be gracious and to just say thank you. I keep trying to deflect and make excuses and not be the guy that is in the limelight. And then I thought, well, why am I like that? And I realized that the recognition actually makes me kind of uncomfortable. Because whatever the reasons for my selection, it's simply built into my DNA. Growing up, I saw my parents giving of their time and selves to activities to help make the world, big or small, better. As you kind of heard already, my dad was involved in absolutely everything. His work with Rotary was broad, as he was the district governor and on some international advisory committees. But it was mostly his work in his own community that kind of set the benchmark. If you needed someone to chair a committee or organize a fundraiser or do overnight security, he was your guy. He was also the guy to help haul beer cases, clean up on the roadside, flip pancakes, stand in the snow on Main Street for Tag Day fundraisers. When my dad passed away in Flin Flon about a year and a half ago, the community of Flin Flon actually lowered the flag to half-mast for a week. It was quite an honor. And my mom has an equally impressive resume. She's been president of the Trout Festival, chair of the Teen Flim Flon, on the Parent Advisory Council, I think actually helped form it. She's been on the International Board of Directors for the La Leche League, and if you don't know what that is, you can ask her, because I'm not going to tell you. Even now, she's the current president of Flim Flon's Inner Wheel, and she was Canada's only representative on that organization's international board. And just last year, she went to Manchester, England, to attend their international meetings. She's 79 years old right now. She said she'll be proud of that. She doesn't want to be 80. 79 is okay. So that's the example that I was provided with.
Big shoes, Tom.
You know, so what else would I do? So even in my own house, Sue has been very active in the community. She's done stuff that ranges from activities within her church, the Thompson Music Parents Association, Parents for French, the Thompson Public Library, the Crisis Center, and I'm sure some others that I just kind of forgot about. Again, what else could I do? That was the example that I kept seeing and was surrounded me. So the old joke is, and I think we already heard kind of a variation of it, is behind every successful man is a very surprised woman.
I didn't say that.
No, I did. But as I kind of reflected on some of the things that I've done over the years, I kept seeing many surprised women. And without their help, I could have never have looked as good as I guess I do today. When I think back to the work I did with the Chamber of Commerce, there was Kathy Leahy, who was our staff person at the time. She made the rest of us look good. And many of you, or some of you, will remember Margaret Pronick. She was a pretty vital member of our community back then as well. And I remember absolutely, right? And I remember when I was the president and I was chairing these meetings and I was kind of not sure what I should be doing or the direction I should be going in, I would look over at Margaret. And if she was frowning, I would back up and take another stab at it, because obviously I was going down the wrong path. So she was kind of the one that I would look at. And if you know Margaret, you know that she didn't mince words and she would tell you what was going on. Right, Saya? We miss Margaret. I spent some time with the United Way in Operation Red Nose, and the woman there was Bobby Montine, and she's still active today, but she was an absolutely vital member of that whole group there. She would do the work, but she'd also notice things that needed doing or people that needed help. Bobby's been a constant worker in our community, and she really believes in many, many things, and I feel fortunate that she was on our team. The Chamber of Commerce, or the Rotary Club. About 4 years ago, the Rotary Club was months, right? Not years, months. So anyway, that was, kind of a step that got us to where we are today. We're still active. Christine Smook is now our president. Sandra took on that role for 2 years and kind of got us through that. And we're up to around 30 members, and I think, we're in pretty good shape. We're pretty stable right now. But thank you to that. And I should acknowledge Rick and I. We worked on a lot of different committees together. The Rotary Gala was a big one that we did for about 10 years, but a lot of things. And he says that I never had a bad thing to say. He's lying. There was a few moments where I went, oh my God, what in the heck is going on here, and da-da-da. But, we got through it, and I think between the two of us and between all the other help that we had from the club and so on, we were able to make it work. So then, that's part of it, is looking to others for inspiration. And I think sometimes this community takes it on the chin just a little bit. But there is a ton of inspiration within this community, and there's a lot of it just in this room here tonight. You look at the people that are with the Community Foundation themselves. They're all volunteers, they're all giving of their time, and they've been doing it for a lot of years. And I don't know how much money you guys gave away last year, around $100,000. I mean, that is just absolutely amazing. But there's other people that I've noticed too, and people that you maybe wouldn't know about. We are members, Sue and I, of the St. Lawrence Catholic Church. I think, Sai, you know Sister Andrea. Sister Andrea has been with this church now we've been here for 25 years, so maybe just a couple of years more than that. She worked at one time in Guatemala. She and a couple of other of her fellow nuns were away, I think, getting supplies. When they came back, her fellow nuns had been murdered by death squads that came through in Guatemala. That's what she lived with. They had to do a kind of a clandestine, I think, had to come up with words and everything to get themselves out of the country. I mean, it was pretty dramatic stuff. She ended up going to Grand Rapids, and about 26 or 27 years ago came to our community. And I've often joked, when Sister Andrea asks for your help, it's like God herself is asking you for help. You have no choice but to say, I'll do that. She's about 85 years old now, and she's still working. You talk about service above self. That is a person that exemplifies the ideal of service above self, and she is an inspiration to me all the time. Now, another person that I've encountered over the last couple of years, as some of you may know, what used to be a bed and breakfast next to the radio station is now a damp house. And you think, oh, that's a terrible thing. And it presents its challenges, there's no doubt about that. But there's a fellow that works or is a resident of that damp house, and his name is Tommy. Now, if those of you have encountered Tommy, you'll know that he's always got a smile on his face, and he's always willing to help out. The other day he came up and he said, "What do you think of the road here behind the radio station?" And he was all excited because he and his buddy Blake had got garbage bags and had cleaned up all the garbage in behind the radio station, from behind Doug's Source for Sports all the way to behind Mama Weetuck there. And he was really proud of it. He was really proud of it. And I recall about 3 or 4 weeks ago, or maybe 5 weeks ago now, I was driving home and I was just going by Rotary Splash Park, and there was Tommy with Blake and one other person, and they had the garbage bags in their hands, and they were walking over to the Rotary Park there to clean up the trash. And I think sometimes we miss some of those things. We miss some of the things that go on in our community and some of the positive stuff. And it's easy to be negative. It's easy to see the stuff that kind of grates and gets in your face. But there's some very positive things that are going on there as well. And, I take inspiration from that. I'm thinking, if he can do that, can I do any less? And I can't. I can't do any less. So everywhere I look, I see people doing things that make our community a better place. Last night I was at the North Star game. The whole organization of the North Stars have worked tirelessly. Many of those people have been on that board for I don't know how many years, maybe 20 years, some of them. I don't know how long Ed McTavish has been out there, and Molly and so on. But a lot of time, thousands of hours. They don't get anything out of that, but they make the North Stars work. I see people cleaning up around their places of work or their places at home, or doing work around their church. Where the radio station is, there's a couple of churches across the street. So I have people out there all the time looking after the lawn and so on. They're not getting paid to do that. They're just volunteering their time to make it better. I see people deciding that we need to continue on with the Terry Fox run and stepping into the breach when the former organizer moved away. I see people doing that. These people and countless others help carry me through those moments when I'm frustrated and discouraged. They don't even know that they've helped me, but they have. So receiving this recognition is a true honor. I guess my awkwardness is because I'm just doing what I think that I should. I'm just doing what I see my own family has done and continues to do, and I just see what others continue to do in the community. And the fact that, for the most part, whatever I've done has been done as part of a team. There's Bruce right now. We've done North Star games for 19 years. We're on our 19th year. Bruce comes out there. I pay him a little bit of money, but I don't pay him a lot. Sorry, Bruce Krantz. I pay Bruce Cameron money. I don't pay you anything. And Bruce Krantz says if you don't want to do it, he will. So I'm honored for this recognition for myself, but I'd also like to accept it on behalf of all those who work hard to make our world better, but don't receive the recognition they deserve. So thank you very much.
So I really don't think it was his intention, I'm sure not, to kind of throw the gauntlet down, but it felt a little bit like, okay, we got to get some stuff done around here. So let's get that done. Congratulations again. I am happy to hear that the other Bruce is getting paid. He handed over the keeper of the cup thing to me a while ago, the white gloves and everything. So maybe, keep it coming my way. Just saying. We're going to get some pictures taken with Tom here right away. You guys freshen up your drinks and things like that, and then we're going to do the first of the auctions in about 15 minutes. Very last thing before I let you go, though, a round of applause for the kitchen staff. We kind of missed that earlier. I hope they're still back there. Fantastic. So, yeah, you got to get some pictures taken. Freshen up your drinks. 15 minutes or so, we'll auction off the